We got a bunch of incoming cards. We want to talk about them. We've got the variants. We've got some new location, possible Twitch drop type things. We're going to go all over this so you can understand what to plan for a little bit this month as far as maybe meta shifting, cards you really want to get. All right, let's jump right in. There's a lot to it. Month of October, one of my favorite months of the year because it's my birthday. All right, yeah, if you want to send me some love by liking this video, I'd very much appreciate that. So this month we've got Elsa, Man-Thing, Black Knight, Nico Minoru, and Werewolf by Night. That's the schedule in order: October 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. So those are what we're going to get released. Elsa BloodStone is going to be the season pass. I'm not focusing on the spotlights in this video. I just want to actually talk about the cards. We'll do some spotlight stuff again sometime this month. We've done some videos on that. Check out the video. It's in the channel. You can find it. We always highlight those, so we'll do it again in the near future as we sort of get a feel for things that need to adjust rankings. All right, so having said that, we're going to go over these cards in order. Also, BloodStone. This is the card that I focused that Series 3 free list, the tier list that I like to do. I love doing those. There's always a lot of debate about them. How'd you forget this? How'd you do that? Honestly, I have a good time with them. I like the dialogue that's generated, etc. So Elsa BloodStone is a 2/2, and if you play another card to fill a location, you give it +3 power. That's it, period. Now, I don't mean that's it. I actually think if played well, this card is going to be really, really strong. It's not ongoing. The video that they had, and we'll have some B-roll of that stuff playing as it's in the background and stuff, and you might see it, but it called it ongoing. From what I understand, my speculation until it's confirmed in game, etc., I don't think this is an ongoing card. I think the way it's going to work is that it's going to be a triggered, and it's going to be like maybe like a Hawkeye type situation. So you're going to play Elsa, then the next turn is when she starts being able to give things. So you're not going to play her on 6 and expect to get a bunch of +3s. You're going to have to play her prior to that. Turn 5 is fine. And then anytime you fill up something, it's going to get +3. Now, in my mind, depending how you play the card, you really want to get her down pretty early so that every time you tick a lane, it's a +3. Like if you put Jeff in, if you put Nightcrawler in, if you put Silk in, if you put Kitty Pryde in, anything that you're thinking of that you can move out of there, Shift, Beast, etc., +3, and then play it somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's pretty sick and dope. So I love this card. I think there's a lot of really high-end potential with it. We're going to do decks on her. I think tomorrow is probably we're going to do some speculative decks prior to her release. Check that out. There's a chance Bounce might be back, baby. We'll see. But that means Sandman, Wave. So maybe I need to have Mobius. But Sandman can't do anything about, Mobius can't do anything about Sandman. All right, next up, we've got Man-Thing. All right, again, we're going to be showing some B-roll on this. 4/5. This one's ongoing. 1, 2, and 3 cost cards have -2 power. This is actually going to be an insanely strong card, especially, and they show this in the video, when paired with Luke Cage. I think that's a sick combination. I would definitely consider pairing those up. I also think it's going to be a great pairing with a card coming in the future, I believe in November, Annihilus. Annihilus is a 5/8. On reveal, your cards with 0 or less power switch sides, and you destroy them if they don't. So basically, with Man-Thing, you can go ahead and do what you need to do, and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't get Luke Cage. Oh my gosh, it's something, I'm losing. Oh, you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna throw it over with Annihilus. Oh, it doesn't go over. I'll just destroy it. Who cares? It's fine. You've got all my junk. So I think these two cards, if you're a junk player, Luke Cage, Hazmat, that sort of thing, you're gonna want to get Man-Thing now, because I think when Annihilus comes later, you're gonna have a really, really nice deck that's going to build this archetype up to be really strong, in my opinion. So I would highly recommend looking at this. I actually am not a junk player, but I think that with the combination of these, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I would definitely look into doing that. Otherwise, where's Man-Thing going to play in? I'm not really sure. I think it's still just kind of a fun card to play in that, and then, I don't know, I guess a troll card a little bit. Black Knight, though. So the way Black Knight is, he's a 1 cost, 2 power card. And he's going to, when you discard a card, add the Ebony Blade, which we'll talk about in a second, to your hand with that card's power once per game. So, cheap card, easily to get out. Now, once you get played this, you can destroy it. If it gets destroyed, who cares? At least that's the way I'm reading it. This comes out, again, October 17th. Ebony Blade is a 4-cost card. So, what's going to happen is, and it shows in the B-roll, again, we'll have them above or something, but he's going to be on the board. You're going to play Sif. You're going to have an APOC. You're going to have an Infinite. You're going to play cards with high power with this card. And then instead of having an Infinite that you can't play on 6 because you went, you're going to have an Ebony Blade that you could play with something else. And it's going to be a 420 or a 412 or a 415. there's a lot of options here that you could look into. I really like what's happening here. I think it's a really good card. At first, when I looked at it, it's like, man, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't think why. Well, who cares? But Ebony Blade, honestly, I think it's a good pairing. And then you know, maybe throw Zabu in that too. I don't know. It seems a little weird, but maybe there's another 4 in there that makes sense. All right, the next one we're going to talk about here, and we want to dive into this one a little bit because this one's a little bit more complicated. It's Nico Minoru. And I'm not going to go insane depth here, but it's a 1-cost card, 2 power. On reveal, after you play your next card, cast a spell. The spell changes each turn. Now, this is random. And what I mean by that is, I've speculated before, spell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, maybe that's the turn it goes on, so it could be any of these, da-da-da-da. Well, apparently, it seems, I believe, that it's going to be just sort of random. So in your hand, the card's going to have one of these abilities. And they did a really good job, and again, we'll have B-roll going, of showing a symbol as well on the card. It's like, okay, so you can understand what it is. Like, first, after you play your next card, it becomes a demon. There was a little demon symbol. After reveal, you play your next card, destroy it, and draw 2 cards. There was like a little explosion with 2 cards inside of it. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that and remember that. After you play your next card, move it 1 location to the right. There was an arrow to the right. On reveal, after you play your next card, give it +2 power. I believe it was a +2. If not, that's what it should be. The next one, after you play your next card, replace that card's location. It was the I think it's a hexagon. It was the shape of the locations, whatever the shape is. I'm not good at geometry or math or algebra or spelling or science or any talking English stuff. The next one, after you play your next card, add a copy of it to your hand. I think this one might have been a card with a plus on it. I'm not sure on that one, but it was something that seemed very intuitive. And then the last one, after you play your next card, double this card's power. I think it was just a ×2. So I was mostly worried that, oh my gosh, how are you going to remember all these things? But honestly, if you read them like once or twice and then you see the symbol, in my mind, it's like pretty obvious what it's going to be doing. Now, the interesting part is, how is this card going to work with other decks? What are you going to do with it? There's a lot of like flexibility here. Okay, it's kind of like a card that you're like, well, this works with a lot. So Nico might be one of those cards that just people really like to have in a lot of different type of decks. Now, is she going to be everywhere? I don't think so. I don't think it was like, I remember when Legion came out, he was everywhere. Maybe she'll be like a Legion for a bit. I love that she's a cheap cost. The flexibility in it is awesome, but I'm kind of poo-pooey on RNG, and there is an RNG aspect to this. So you might like really want to move something to the right, but you didn't get that one when you needed that one. You know what I mean? So that aspect of Nico, I could see, or Nico, it could be a little bit frustrating, I'd see. But generally speaking, all the other ones are pretty solid, you know, except for like destroy it and draw 2 cards. I mean, yeah, that'd be great in destroy when you have Nova and you want to play it right then and there. Okay, that makes sense. Move a card to the right. Well, okay, maybe I want to do that with Werewolf by Night, but it isn't ready to do that. You know, that type of thing is what I'm talking about with it. You know, maybe copying a certain card you don't want to copy, but you need to play it. That way I could see Nico being sometimes a brick, but sometimes great. So we'll see how this evolves. I have to say that I have a gut feeling that as much as I like the card, right now there's a chance I could see it maybe getting an additional power. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I may be missing it. I do love the flexibility in it. But if it's too much RNG and people are just like, I never get what I want, so I'm not going to play the card, you know, I could see where that frustration would boil over to the point where people don't want to play it anymore. So that's Nico. All right, last but not least, as far as the cards go, Werewolf by Night. And again, I want to shout out Ben Brode. I don't know Ben, but I will say that he got a special extra effort put into the video this month. Again, we're playing the B-roll. By the way, there was no B-roll for Werewolf by Night. Is that because Ben is Werewolf by Night? I don't know. I'm curious. But I like that the effort he put in there. He acted it really well. I just thought it was sort of on point. I'm sure the producers, etc., need and deserve a lot of that credit as well. But good job all around second dinner. Anyways, 3-3. After you play an on-reveal card at another location, move there and gain +2. So this thing could bounce around the board a whole bunch and gain +2. That's it. I think it's awesome. I think it's going to pair up really nice with Kraven as well. I think anytime you're doing any sort of on-reveals, and honestly, a lot of move have some on-reveals. So it is something you're going to want to consider and think about. But, you know, a card like, say, Cloak or Doctor Strange, well, it's like, well, Werewolf by Night's already moved to where Cloak is. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, all right, so then I can't move Werewolf by Night there, but would that even proc the +2? I don't know. So you want to pair him up with not just move, but you've obviously got to have a bunch of proper on reveals to have with him. But I can't help it, but really want to pair him with Kraven because I just feel like you could just keep loading that up a little bit and just keep pinging that card. Again, no B footage for this one, but I'm actually pretty excited for this one. Comes out on Halloween, right around my birthday. Again, just hammer down that like button if you want to give me a birthday present. That's the best thing you can do. Or subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel, so I appreciate that. All right, we're going to finish up the video with playing some B-roll from those variants that were popping in on the footage. I love the blade one. Obviously, that smoke and gun, it's awesome. I think stuff like this in Season Pass, they're typically with the animation is what I'm looking for. They always should show that stuff. Anytime you're selling a card, and honestly, any card in a shop should be showing up. Well, I guess there could be some confusion on that's the level you'd get, but regardless, it's not the end of the world. If you show an epic and you get a base, it's pretty easy to get up to an epic. I really want to see the animation of cards. And I think the cards for these, the blade, and then you've got Ghost Rider, I think they look cool. I mean, the chain moving for Ghost Rider, anytime there's a fire on a card, I think it's just phenomenal. So I like both of those as far as the Season Pass goes. And then we've got the Midnight Sun stuff, which I mentioned this in another video. I think this collaboration's pretty cool. I love the Doctor Strange one is just a straight login. You're going to get, you log in and you get it. The rest of them, we're not necessarily sure. Could there be some Twitch drops for that? I don't know. There's been some speculation on that. There's going to be, I think, a shop showcase or something is out there too, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So depending how they have these come out, definitely save your gold, money, anything that you're spending in game so that if you really want these, you can get them. But I love this one because especially there's a spot in my heart that connects both Midnight Suns with Marvel Snap. I said it in the other video. Midnight Suns helped me find Marvel Snap. It helped me come and play and be open to it. And this is honestly one of the games I've had a lot of fun with. I really like strategic thinking. I love Marvel. I've generally enjoyed cards. Now it's typically been like poker type stuff, but I found a nice fun love here. And I loved playing Marvel's Midnight Suns. I think the story's great. I actually got to go back and finish it still. How much did you love it if you didn't finish it? Well, I got into Marvel Snap, so what do you want from me? All right, last but not least, we're going to show the new locations. We got Hotel Inferno. After you play a card here this turn, destroy the top card of your opponent's deck. That seems pretty interesting, sort of cool if you're just wanting to do that. But it's got to be that turn, so it's 1 through 3. And then the last one, the Abbey, which ties to the Midnight Suns. Again, go play that game, check it out. It's kind of your home base. First to put exactly 2 cards here, draws a card. All right, I think it's a neat, interesting, not overpowering location. That's the type of thing that I personally like to see in locations. It feels good and it's not bad. It's like, well, I didn't get that, but it's not overbearing. I think both of them are pretty solid this month. So that's what we got. That's our thoughts on the cards. Again, we're going to be doing some deck stuff, obviously, for all these cards. We'll get the Elsa stuff out here soon. I'm probably pretty excited to do that one the most right now, just because I think she's going to bring into some cards that typically don't get played. So like and subscribe if you want to check those out. I'd love to hear your comments below on which card you're most excited about. What are you going to get me for my birthday? Tell me it's a hammer that like button or a subscription to the channel. Come on, I'll give you an e-hug. E-hug. I love you. Love your face. All right, that's all we got for now. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.